is taking up a little bit more space than the sketch from yesterday, but we'll just have to work around it. So I'd like for everybody just to draw a little axes there, X and Y axis, okay? Now, what we're going to do here is we are trying our best to sketch this 210 degree rotation. So over here, you might want to draw yourself a little reference circle. You know that this is 90 degrees, right? 180. This is 270, and all the way around would be 360 degrees, right? You also know that this is 45. What is this angle?
135.
What would this one be? Not 210.
225.
225, and this would be
300.
315. I'm making the 45s here, okay? You don't have to write that. I just wanted you to kind of have that in mind as we're working here, okay? Let me split this up. Okay, so if we are doing a 210 degree rotation, our angles are always going and opening, and when we're rotating, we're doing it counterclockwise, okay? This way. So we go 90 degrees, 180. Now, how many more degrees do I need to go? Ladies, please pay attention. How many more degrees do I need to go? 30 more degrees. So would you say that's about right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're talking about this angle. Okay, well this would be the first side of our angle. We're talking about this 210 degree angle. Now what quadrant is that angle in? Third quadrant. Remember, this is first, second, third, and fourth. Okay? Now when it says reference angle, our reference angle is the angle made by our terminal vector, this line right here, like our last side, and the x axis. Okay? Really, it's the amount of degrees we are away from the x-axis. So what would this angle be right here?
30.
30, so that's our reference angle, 30 degrees. Are there any questions here? Alright, I'm going to have to do the sketch for number 2 over here on the left. So I'll do it over here on the right. Okay, this is a 135 degree rotation, correct? So I'm rotating and I rotate 90. Now how many more degrees do I need to rotate?
45.
45, so that will leave us here. So think of this as and that's not a really smooth curve, but how much of a rotation is this? 135 degree? Do you see that? And what quadrant do we end in? And what would the reference angle be? 45, because we are 45 degrees away from our x-axis. Are there any questions? Now when we're rotating, and we have a negative degree, guess which way we're going? Instead of going counterclockwise, we're actually going
The other way.
clockwise. The other way, which is clockwise. Good. What did y'all get for your radians in number 3? Negative pi over 4? Okay, so when we draw our sketch, we're going to start here, but instead of going up, we're going, and we just go 45 degrees, so it's just right here. So this right here is our angle. And what quadrant do we end in?
4.
Very good. And our reference angle is?
45.
45 degrees. Very good. Not too bad? Alvin, do you have a question, buddy?
Why did you do it in the fourth quadrant again?
Because it's negative, our angle is negative, so instead of rotating counterclockwise, we're going to go clockwise. So we're going to go down 45, okay? Good. Alright, let's look at number 4. Number 4, what is the radians here? What are the radians?
Negative 2 pi over 3.
Negative 2 pi over 3. Is that what you guys got? Okay, so let's rotate. Alright, we're going to start here, and we go down counterclockwise, right, and we're rotating. We go 90 degrees, and then how many more degrees do we need to go?
30.
So we went 90, and we have 30 more to go, so something like this, maybe a little bit closer to the edge.
That's fine.
Is that okay?
Yep.
So, we rotated 90 and then another 30. So what's our reference angle, Patricia? Could you tell us?
That's like what you have to go.
Well, we have left to go, yes. Kind of like that.
So, is it 60?
60 is exactly what it would be. Very good. Now, do y'all know how she got 60?
Get to find the one that's left. 180.
Yes, Daniel.
Does it need to be 60 or just 60?
Just 60.
Oh, why is it 60?
Because 180 minus
Your reference angle is going to be somewhere between 0 and 90 degrees. Because no matter where you are somewhere between 0 and 90 degrees away from the x-axis.
So you don't ever have a negative
You'll never have a negative, no.
for the reference.
Right. Because no matter where you are, whether, let me do this, huh? Look at it this way. On your circle, no matter where you are, if you're here, or here, or here, or here, you aren't going to be more than, like, for example, if you're right here, you'd say you were 89 degrees away from the x-axis, okay? But if you're over here, you're still 89 degrees away from the x-axis. Do you see that? So it's always, your reference angle is always between 0 and 90 degrees. Is that clear? Do you have a question? Johnny, Andrew? All right, number 5. So on number 5, what did you guys get for your radians?
5 pi over 2.
5 pi over 2? Now number 5 is so much fun, and I had a kid call this a snail earlier, I think. So, we're going to start and go a full 360 degrees, right? So how many degrees does that leave us to go? I'm sorry? 90 more degrees. Sorry, this is... So right here, so that means that our reference angle, for this quadrant, since we're not in a quadrant, you could just put y-axis. What would our reference angle be? 90 degrees, because we are 90 degrees away from the x-axis. Do you see that? Are there any questions? Yes, sir.
Because it's a circle around or so, you have 90 degrees.
Say that again?
Because of that circle, you have 90 degrees, because you subtract it from 360. Well,
Right.
why did you just subtract?
Well, we know that we went around 360 degrees here.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so we already used 360, and that meant we had 90 left to go, so then we went 90 more, and that left us here, which
Yeah.
is our 90 degree reference angle, okay? So let's do this next one. This next one looks fun, doesn't it? I don't know why this won't stay straight. Okay. So would you all get your radians here? Anyone? It's okay. What'd you get for number 6?
Power over 6? Yeah.
You said 29 pi over 6?
Yes,
Okay, so let's... This is going to probably end up being a large circle, so you might want to start small. So let's go around 360, right?
You gotta do another one.
Alright, so if we subtract 360, how many degrees does that leave us with?
720. We need another 10.
We have 510 degrees left, so then we go around again, right?
Or you can just do like 8.
So then how many degrees do we have left?
150.
150, do you guys agree?
Yeah.
We subtracted the 360 again. So let's go, if we start here again and we go 90, how many more do we have left to go?
60.
Right, so if we subtracted 90, we would have 60 more because this minus 90 equals 60. So let's go another 60. Do you guys agree about right there?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Alright.
just, yeah.
Do you see what happened? So what quadrant does this end in?
1, 2.
The second, and what is the reference angle? Take your time with this one. 30. Did some of us kind of want to say 60? Right, because we went 60, but since we were at the 90, think of it this way. Look at this picture. Since we were at the 90 and we went 60, that means we only have 30 left to go. Okay, I'm going to show that up here too. So since we were here and we went 60, the reference angle is the amount of degrees it is away from the x-axis, or the angle it makes with the x-axis, really. So that's what?
30.
30 degrees. Any questions here? Are y'all okay with that? Okay?
That's one.
Yes, sir.
Instead of saying 29 pi over 6, could you say 4 and 5, 6 pi?
Do you remember how every time you're gonna see them, they're gonna be written as improper fractions.
So would that be a wrong answer?
I would like for you to write them as improper fractions, yes. Okay, so let's look at number 7. On number 7, what did you get for your radians?
-10 pi over 3.
Okay, and let's graph that. Okay, so we're starting here, we're going opposite, we're going clockwise. So that would be, we're actually adding 360 this time, do you see? Now we still have negative 240 degrees left to go. So let's go 90, and then we can go another 90, so that makes 180. All right, so then how many do we have left to go if we've already gone 180? Negative 60? Is that correct? So if we go 60 more, we're going to end up here. Right? So that would be quadrant 2, right? And then what's our reference angle?
30.
Is it 120?
So,
60.
It's okay, you guys, you're just learning this today, so it's fine if we don't get this immediately right. But the reference angle is, do you see this vector, the side length of the angle that we end with? If we take that and then the other, and then the x-axis, the angle it makes with the x-axis, that's the reference angle. And it's always going to be between 0 and 90. So it couldn't be, I know some of you guys wanted to say right here 120, but it can't be 120, which means it has to be 60. Do you see?
but what you said, the stuff that's left, like the other one.
It's the distance, or the angle that it is away from, the amount of degrees it is away from the x-axis. Do you see that?
Maybe so,
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Now, it's different if it's over here. Like, you know what I mean? We're not gonna go that way, we're gonna go this way.
Okay.
It's the closest, the smallest angle between it and the x-axis, okay? Alright, any questions here? Alright, let's look at number 8. On number 8, what'd y'all get for your radians?
7 pi over 2.
7 pi over 2, and let's sketch this guy. So we're going clockwise, counterclockwise, I mean. 360. So how many degrees would that leave us with?
270.
So then we go 90, 180, and end right here. 90, 180, end right here at 270. Is that correct? So this would be a y-axis. And the reference angle is what?
270. Isn't that?
Remember, it can only be between 0 and 90, it can't be any greater.
90.
So 90 degrees. Do y'all see that? I want to do one more, okay? Now, on this last one, what'd you get for your, it's something crazy, right?
Negative 55 pi over 18.
Now, not every time is it going to be one of the angles we've talked about that we've graphed on the unit circle. There are other angles on the unit circle. All angles on the unit circle, but we've already talked about special ones. So, let's graph this one. Okay, it says negative, right? So it's like adding 360, and what's that going to leave us with?
Negative.
190.
Negative 190? Okay, what's close to negative 190?
180.
180, which is half the circle, so we know we can go 90, 180, okay? So what does that leave us with?
That leaves us with,
How many more? 10 to go.
yeah, 10.
We're in the second quadrant, and what is our reference angle? 10 degrees. Now, do you see how that's different? Because we were at 180 and we only went 10 degrees away from the x-axis. I'm going to go through and highlight our reference angles, okay? Okay, so the reference angle, do you see how I highlighted all of our reference angles here? And, I'm sorry, this one I should have highlighted this angle right. I mean, it's the same thing, it's still 90, so. But do you see what I'm saying? Because this is where we ended, but it's from here to here, that's the distance it is away from the... Do you have any questions here about reference angles? If you want, I can pause the video and you can ask questions.
So, what you do is subtract. If you go counterclockwise, you subtract. If you go clockwise, you add.
I didn't tell. Yes, that's what you do, yes.
You say you didn't tell?
Well, yes, that's what you do. Very good.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Yes,
I don't know what I did.
okay. Let me pause the video and then